A Spider Goes to Italy. Story by Jennifer Harris, illustrated by Sherry Gibson. For Nico and Milo, my nugget nephews, may your lives be filled with adventures. Clarkson always was a curious spider with a dreaming mind. When he shared his ideas to travel the world, his parents thought them silly and said they were just fantasies. Clarkson knew his dreams were much more than that. Clarkson loved to collect travel magazines and maps from faraway places. He knew there was a big world out there, and he wanted to see it with his own spider eyes. He would lie on his web that night and imagine that when he awoke, he would be in one of those far-off places that he had dreamed of. Clarkson found it sad that he might never get a chance to see things outside of the house he lived in. His friends and family were content living there. But deep down, this spider knew he needed to weave a web of his very own. According to his parents, Clarkson was destined to grow up and take over his family's web design business. While he appreciated his parents' love and faith in his abilities, he could not help but think that there had been more to life than that. This curiosity often led to wandering. Clarkson loved to watch the human of the house come and go with her rusty orange suitcase. One day, he asked his mom if she had noticed the orange suitcase. "Mom," he said, "why does the lady downstairs always come and go but never put away the beautiful case?" His mother, in her wisest mommy voice, explained that the lady must be searching for something out there. But if she had any spider sense, she wouldn't bother, as she would know that home is the very best place to be. Thoughts that his mother might never understand his desires to travel made Clarkson sad. His spider mind was filled with fantasies and adventures of the lady and her rusty orange-colored suitcase. It was time to explore. The next day, while the lady was out and the lovely suitcase lay open, Clarkson spun his way down from his web in the attic to do some research. The suitcase was filled to the brim with shoes, clothes, and even a camera. It suddenly hit him. This lady must be going somewhere out there, and I want to go with her. Clarkson made his way back to the attic, where he saw his parents working away at their web design. He shared his discoveries with them, and the excitement began to grow and grow inside him. This spider knew in his gut it was time to go. Of course, Clarkson's friends and family did not take well to the news. In fact, they feared for his little spider life. They told him it was a goofy idea to have been snooping around in the first place, and it was his plan to crawl into the suitcase and go wherever she was going was just plain crazy. "What if you get smushed out there, Clarkson?" said his father. "Yes, what if you get lost and can never find your way home, dear?" said his mother. Clarkson did his best to ease his family's fears, as he felt absolutely fearless and alive. That very night, Clarkson wove his way down into the suitcase of uncertainty. Yet he had never felt more certain in his entire spider life. Clarkson continued deeper into the suitcase while keeping a watchful eye out for the human. Before he could get a good look, a shadow loomed over him. Claws and teeth flashed. Swipe went an unfamiliar foot as a gust of wind flew across Clarkson's little head. Phew, that was close, he thought. Panic consumed the little spider as he looked for a place to hide. Bad kitty. Stomp, stomp went the lady's foot as she placed a pair of boots in the suitcase. Fearing for his life, Clarkson climbed inside one of the boots and collapsed from exhaustion. Dozing off, he began to envision all the wonderful places he might go. He was headed into the great unknown, and it was time to get some sleep. His wild adventures were just beginning. When Clarkson finally awoke, the dark confused him. He was alone with his thoughts, and it was then that he knew something was different. Very different indeed. Slowly, he crawled his way out of the boot and the suitcase and immediately noticed the floor wasn't soft and mushy like the one at home. It was cold and hard, and his little legs, all 8 of them, began to tremble with excitement. He crawled all over, looking for clues as to his whereabouts, and he heard an unfamiliar voice. No, bye, un dragon. No, go away, a spider. Clarkson ran across the floor as fast as he could and hid behind the leg of a sofa. As he sat there safely, with his eyes wide open, he caught his breath. Suddenly he saw an older woman stomping the floor and screaming once again. Un dragon, mamma mia, a spider, oh my mother. A spider, said the voice of the lady from the home. Signora, don't be afraid, it's only a harmless spider. Then the older woman shouted with a very heavy accent. Don't tell me spiders are harmless. Italy is full of hairy little monsters. Holy spaghetti and meatballs, thought Clarkson from behind the sofa leg. I've landed in Italy. Slam went the door, and the coast was clear. It was time to explore once again when suddenly Clarkson heard footsteps approaching from the darkness beneath the sofa. He froze as he came face to face with a familiar face. It was a spider. Ciao! Hello, said the little guy. Sono Luigi tu? I'm Luigi, and you? Clarkson stared blankly at Luigi as Luigi repeated, Sono Luigi, I'm Luigi. It was then that Luigi realized this spider was not Italian. The boys did their best to communicate soon a great friendship had formed. Luigi grabbed one of Clarkson's legs and his as they dashed off to meet some new friends and family. To Clarkson's great surprise, they made their way to an attic, very similar to his at home. When they arrived, Luigi shouted, Gente, questo Clarkson, il mio nuovo amico dall'America. Everyone, this is Clarkson, my new friend from America. In unison, all of the spiders cheered. Ciao, Clarkson. Hello, Clarkson. Luckily, Luigi's cousin Sylvia spoke English, and she helped everyone communicate. Clarkson shared details of his life back home and how they had arrived in Italy. The spiders explored together and sat on their webs in the windsills, watching Italian life on the streets below. He tried new foods, practiced new words, and had a wonderful time. Clarkson found it hilarious that all of the spiders talked with not only their mouths, but with all 8 of their legs at the same time. On his first day in Italy, his new friends prepared a feast in Clarkson's honor. For the first course, which they call antipasti, they ate a delicious treat called bruschetta, made of toasted bread, brushed with olive oil and garlic, and then topped with fresh pomodori, or tomatoes. The spiders also snacked on wonderful Italian cheeses, olives, and salami. For their second course, the spiders shared 2 different types of pasta. One was strangely called gnocchi alla romana and was made from the semolina flour, then covered with an amazing meat sauce called ragu alla bolognese. Next, a spaghetti alla carbonara, which was really long, thin noodles shaped like strings. They were tossed with egg, pecorino, and Parmesan cheese, and a bacon that the Italian spiders called pancetta. After the fabulous meal, the new friends sat around laughing and telling stories until they came yet another treat, dessert and coffee. The dessert was named cannoli, and it was made of crunchy shell and stuffed with sweetened cheese and tiny chocolate chips. Clarkson was trying new things all right. He even tasted a strange drink called espresso, which quickly became his new favorite. It was crazy. Clarkson could not believe how much these Italian spiders ate. He loved every ounce of his Italian experience, especially the warmth and passion of the other spiders. Pretty much everything about Italy made his little heart sing. At times, Clarkson felt confused around his new language. One day, Sylvia decided it was time to teach him some Italian. All of the spiders gathered around as the lesson began. Prego, ciao, andiamo, grazie, buongiorno. Here are some of the new words they practiced. Andiamo, let's go. Ciao, hello. Grazie, thank you. Arrivederci, goodbye. Buongiorno, good morning. Prego, you're welcome. Per favore, please. Buonanotte, good night. They worked on simple words at first to give Clarkson a leg up. Soon, bursting at the seams, he was ready to speak his first Italian sentence. Standing on a soapbox higher than the others, with his arms wide out, open, he cleared his throat and began. Ciao a tutti. Ciao a tutti. Il mio nome è Clarkson e sono felice di aver nuovi amici in Italy. Hello everyone, my name is Clarkson and I'm happy to have new friends in Italy. Evviva, 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 the spiders cheered. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Way to go, Clarkson, said Sylvia. Now it's time for gelato. The little spider had read about gelato in his travel magazines, and he knew that Italians were famous for their version of ice cream. He could not wait to have some. He tried a gelato called Nutella, which was flavored with chocolate and hazelnut, and he thought it was out of this world. Later that night, with full bellies and all, Clarkson and his new friends sat on their webs in the window sill, looking down upon the great city in Rome. The Italian spiders talked about their favorite sports, soccer, or calcio, they also called it. They discussed movie stars like Sophia Loren, famous Italian designers like Armani and Dolce & Gabbana, and virtually everything under the Italian sun. Clarkson's spider heart began to race with anticipation. He could barely sleep that night. The next morning, the boys were off. What a day! They saw the Roman Colosseum, the Trevi Fountain, Vatican City, where the Pope lives, and even the Piazza di Spagna, where they sat on one of the statues overlooking the famous set of stairs. On their way home, Clarkson got to experience his first ride on a Vespa. The two spiders slid their way onto one of the famous Italian motor scooters, tucked themselves into balls, and awaited the return of its owner. Whee! That night, the spiders gathered around to do some chatting while they ate pizza for dinner. Pizza! The greatest invention of all time, proclaimed Clarkson. Luigi shared the day's adventures, and then Sylvia told him that on his next visit they would go see the famous Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa? Asked Clarkson. No! Pisa, said Sylvia, and they all burst out laughing. Everything was new and different to the little spider. Even though he was amazingly happy and in love with his new adventure, he knew to keep a watchful eye out on the rusty orange-colored suitcase that got him here in the first place. He knew that when that suitcase was leaving, so was he. It didn't take long for Clarkson to notice the suitcase seemed to be filling right back up again. He began to prepare himself and his newfound friend for his departure by saying his goodbyes. Luigi and Clarkson shed some tears, but these two spiders knew they would see each other again someday. When the time came, Clarkson wove his way back into the suitcase and his pals waved goodbye. He began to doze off while taking it all in, knowing now that following his heart was better than he'd ever dreamt it could be. With a large thump, he awoke and he knew he was home. He crawled out of the suitcase towards the attic he knew so well and began to hear his mother's voice. Before she could even turn around, Clarkson yelled, "Ciao, everyone, I'm home." His mother began to cry and laugh at the same time. They gave each other a gigantic 8-legged hug. His family was stunned to hear that he had gone all the way to Italy. That night, all of the spiders gathered round to hear the stories of Clarkson's curious, dreaming heart. He truly had the time of his life. As the stories spun round, Clarkson felt so happy to be home with his family and friends. With a big hug, he said to them all, "I've missed you so much, but prepare yourselves, because it won't be this spider's last travel adventure." The end. Until the next adventure.